What if I told you that the deepest void of space isn't empty at all? That beyond the reach of our most powerful telescopes, past the cold silence of interstellar nothingness, something ancient waits. Something that has seen the rise and fall of entire civilizations long before Earth even formed. The universe is vast. Too vast for comfort. We like to think of it as a place we might one day explore, conquer, or even call home. But what if, instead, it's a place meant to keep something else out? Or worse, to keep something in? Astronomers have long been fascinated by the idea of cosmic voids, immense, dark pockets in space where galaxies seem to disappear. These regions, stretching hundreds of millions of light years across, contain far less matter than the rest of the universe. Some scientists speculate that these voids exist due to the way matter clustered together after the Big Bang, leaving behind vast stretches of emptiness. But what if these voids weren't just empty by chance? What if something had cleared them out? In 2015, researchers discovered a peculiar region of space called the Boötes Void, an area so vast and devoid of galaxies that it defies explanation. Some call it the Great Nothing. If our Milky Way were inside it, we wouldn't have known that other galaxies even existed until we invented deep space telescopes. It's as if something consumed or erased everything that was once there. Now, logically, we attribute this to physics, gravitational forces, and cosmic evolution, but let's entertain a darker possibility. What if the Boötes Void isn't empty? What if it's the last remnant of a civilization that was devoured by something we can't comprehend? Science fiction has long played with the idea of ancient cosmic horrors lurking in the abyss. H.P. Lovecraft described being so incomprehensible that merely perceiving them would drive a person insane. But what if he wasn't just writing stories? What if these ideas came from something buried deep in the human subconscious, something whispering through time, warning us to stay away from the deep voids of space? After all, nature abhors a vacuum. Something should be there. The fact that it isn't is terrifying. Imagine for a moment an advanced alien race reaching the edge of one of these voids, believing, like us, that they were simply exploring a dark and empty part of the universe. They send probes, signals, even ships, hoping to uncover the mysteries hidden within. But as they drift further in, the signals weaken. Their technology fails. And then, silence. No distress calls. No wreckage. Just nothing. Entire fleets gone without a trace. The few who escape tell stories of a darkness that moved, that devoured the light, that turned space itself into a prison. And when they looked into it, the void looked back. The horrifying truth is that we have no way of knowing what truly exists in the unexplored corners of the universe. Every now and then, astronomers detect mysterious signals, bursts of radio waves that seem to originate from deep space with no clear source. Fast radio bursts, or FRBs, last only milliseconds, but release more energy than our sun does in an entire year. We assume they come from neutron stars or some unknown astrophysical process. But what if we're wrong? What if these are distress signals? Warnings? Or worse, lures? Because if there really is something lurking in the void, something that thrives in the absence of stars, it wouldn't need planets or atmospheres. It wouldn't need warmth or light. It would exist in a state beyond anything we understand. And maybe it's been watching, waiting, keeping to the darkness until someone ventures too close. The same way deep-sea predators lurk in the ocean's blackest trenches, waiting for prey to swim just a little too far from the shore. We assume space is empty because we don't see anything moving within it. But what if that's the trick? What if the darkness itself is alive? If such an entity exists, it wouldn't operate by our understanding of biology or physics. It wouldn't have a shape that we could recognize. It might not even be bound by time in the way we are. To us, it would be an absence, an anomaly that our minds refuse to acknowledge, like a blind spot in our vision too large to notice. Somewhere in the deep void, beyond our grasp, there may be something waiting that has no beginning, no end, and no need for light. Something that has consumed worlds before, reducing them to nothing. Of course, we like to believe we're special, that humanity is unique, intelligent, and destined for greatness. But what if we're just another blip in the cosmic timeline? What if other civilizations, ones far older and more advanced than us, have already come and gone, erased without a trace by something we can't even begin to comprehend? And what if the only reason we still exist is because we haven't caught its attention yet? There's an unsettling idea in astrophysics known as the Great Filter. It's the theory that somewhere along the path of civilization, there's a nearly impossible barrier to survival. Maybe it's self-destruction, maybe it's technological stagnation. But what if it's neither? What if the real filter isn't something civilizations do to themselves, but something that happens to them? Something that finds them once they reach a certain level of advancement? Think about it. We send signals out into space. We beam out radio waves, trying to make contact with alien life, hoping that someone, something out there will hear us and respond. But if there really is an ancient entity lurking in the void, what if that's exactly what it wants? What if every civilization that sent signals into the great unknown was simply calling out into the darkness, only to have something answer? Maybe that's why the universe is so quiet. The famous Fermi Paradox asks, if the universe is teeming with habitable planets, where is everyone? Why haven't we detected alien life? Some say it's because space is too vast. Others argue that intelligent life is rare. But what if the reason we don't see civilizations thriving across the stars is because something already found them? Something that doesn't leave survivors? We like to think of ourselves as pioneers, explorers of the final frontier. But what if we're more like a child wandering too close to the deep end of a dark ocean, not realizing that the water beneath us is filled with things far older, far hungrier, and far more patient than we could ever imagine? And what if one day we reach too far, send one signal too many, and something in the void finally turns its gaze toward us? Maybe that's why the vast cosmic voids exist. Not because they are naturally empty, but because something made them that way. Something that cleared entire galactic clusters as effortlessly as a wildfire sweeping across a dry forest. Something that leaves behind nothing but silence. The Boötes Void could be the graveyard of an entire galactic empire. And if that's true, it's only a matter of time before we too step too close to the darkness. But what do we do with this knowledge? Should we stop exploring? Should we silence our signals and pray that whatever might be out there hasn't noticed us yet? Or is it already too late? For all we know, we could already be watched, studied, weighed against whatever measure this cosmic entity uses to judge who survives and who disappears. If something ancient and malevolent truly lurks in the void of space, then the horror isn't just that it exists, it's that we might already be on borrowed time. The stars we see at night may not be welcoming beacons of hope, but the last lights of civilizations that vanished before us. And if history repeats itself, if the void is what comes after, then the fate of humanity may already be written in the darkness. The only question left is, how long do we have before the void looks back? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the cosmic unknown, make sure to subscribe for more mind-bending theories and terrifying possibilities lurking in the universe. You won't want to miss what's coming next.